Hello, hello. Welcome back. We're going to have a look. We're going to do some commentary today on this Tata Steel Masters. So we're not going to check the engine eval. We're going to try and evaluate. What we're going to do is we're going to try and evaluate the positions without the engine. This is Donchenko playing. We might check the engine later. You know, just been eating some nuts. Always hungry. Hungry guy. But yeah, Jordan Van Forest, actually somebody I've played before. Actually, I've also played Donchenko. Have a guess which of these two players I've got a plus score against, and have a guess which of these two players I've got a negative score against. Leave your comments below. Anyway, I played them both, 3 games in total. But in this position, white to play. No, it's black to play, sorry. White's just gone F6. Who do you think is a better prospect as well long term, Donchenko or Van Forest? Well, in a way, they're not really prospects anymore. They're kind of mature players, right? But F6, I could take on F6. So G takes F6. I actually quite like black's position visually because, yeah, G takes, so that's what he's played. That looks like the most natural move, right? So if white takes on F6, take back. There might be other moves that I've not considered. There's also H4 as an option. H4? Yeah, so my evaluation is probably it's about equal, but I almost prefer to be black here because the knight on D4 is very active. The bishop on C4 is also quite active. But again, my evaluation skills are probably way off, and probably white's a lot better here, as Jordan Van Forest will show with his exquisite skill. Can you go H4? But H4 there's Queen to... No, Queen E5, there's Queen G4 check. And then you take on E5. So H4 is a move. But Queen G6. And then if I go Queen takes G6, F takes G6, take on F6. Now white does seem better there actually, because you won a pawn, right? So H4 is a move. And then Queen G7 is also possible. Yeah, see, the more I look at this, the more I'm kind of changing my thought and thinking actually white is better here. Maybe because it's H4 move. Maybe not winning, but kind of a dangerous position for black. It almost looks like one of those old Kasparov games where white was just fighting with a small force on the king's side, but somehow managed to create some very dangerous threats. So taking on F6 is also possible, because actually when you take on F6, you're also pawn up there as well. So I think Donchenko might be in trouble. Taking on F6. If Queen F6 is Knight G4. Well, it's not decisive, but looks a little bit dangerous. Yeah, so probably take on F6. There's also moves like E takes F6. There's Knight F5 there. There's an option. Could come back to that game. See if there's any big developments. He's gone H4. That was the other move also we were thinking about. We'll come back to that game. Vidit against Max Warmerdam. How do we evaluate this position? It's very important to evaluate positions. And just do some evaluation is very important, I think. You know, because if you don't know how to evaluate positions, how do you know what you're aiming for? So in this position, white's just played bishop to D8 actually in that position. So clearly intending to play rook E8 check and gain a decisive attack. But that's gone rook E5. Looks like a good defensive move. However, the black king still looks very vulnerable. I don't like black's position. It somehow feels very shaky, right? And you would consider that Vidit is quite a big favourite, white against Warmerdam. No disrespect to Warmerdam, he's a good player. But Vidit has been playing unbelievable chess lately. He's really been very strong indeed. However, there's no straightforward knockout blow here. If you take on e5 and go queen e7, there's queen d4, for example. Queen e8, king h7, so what? And also once you take on e5, then you're blocking the rook to go into f4. So I'm curious to know, bishop c7 might be a candidate move here. Bishop c7 looks very natural because then I'm threatening to take on d6. So that might reveal one of the positive sides of playing bishop d8. But bishop c7, you could go rook a e8. And then if bishop d6, rook e1, rook e1, rook e1, queen e1, white's a pawn up. But black still has some chances to defend. Queen d4, for example. Queen d4 intending bishop c5, queen b2, but there's bishop e5 after queen d4. Bishop e5, queen d5. a3. Also queen c3 is a move, but queen c3 is f6. a3, queen a2, queen c3, f6. Yeah, black's fighting on, but is clearly worse. In that kind of variation. So bishop c7 is certainly a move. Probably what he'll play. Unless there's something even stronger. Unless there's something very strong here, he'll probably go bishop c7. Maybe d4 is an option as well. d4. Because you want to break this rook's defense of e8. If you went d4 and I take on e1, I'm in trouble. But I could go d4, rook e4. Rook takes, bishop takes. And then if queen e4 is queen d8, rook d8, sorry. And then if queen e7 is rook f8. But you're kind of hanging on there. Because after rook f8, queen d6, I'm a lot better. So actually, d4 is probably the move. It's not the first move I thought of, but the more I look at it, that looks very, very dangerous. If Vidit finds d4, he might well win the game. He'll obviously have seen d4. d4 is another variation. d4, rook e1, rook e1. That's also, no, not queen e1 because of rook d8. Rook e1, f6. Stopping rook e8. But f6 runs into bishop f6. gf6, queen f6. What was he opening in this game, actually? Oh, some kind of Rada Pez, delayed exchange. Queen e1, typical kind of a move. b4, good move, yeah. If you take back, maybe you should have taken, actually, anyway. I probably would have just taken. Oh, I mean, what was the top move here? What about this? That's not good. Okay, so he went knight, yeah, so he went knight, knight e5. Yeah, f4, very dangerous idea. Okay, yeah. Maybe could have taken. Or knight d7 was another option. Because it seems to me like, I mean, this does. The problem here is this queen on b8 is really bad. It's like out of the game. But again, why? I don't understand why he's going to put his queen on a7. Or maybe he missed this idea of going bishop d8. I think he blundered this bishop d8 idea. He has gone bishop c7, that was my original idea. So what was wrong with d4? There must have been something wrong with d4 because I thought that was winning. d4 is obviously Vidit must have calculated this and considered this wasn't winning. Because otherwise, why didn't he play it? It looks very obvious though, d4. Right? There must have been something he didn't like about it. Maybe it's rook e6, but also rook e1, f6. I felt like bishop f6 was winning there. What does the computer say about d4? Rook h. Because you're covering this. Oh my god, that's pathetic. But bishop c7 actually is not winning anyway. I mean, computer thinks that Warmadam is defending here. So maybe he's played it all correctly. I mean, visually, yeah, so my valuation position that Vidit was winning is probably as much based on the fact that Vidit is higher rated than anything else. You know, sometimes you can look at the game and it's Vidit is like higher rated. Okay. Let's have a look at Firouzja, the man of the moment. He's been playing incredible chess lately. However, in this game, he's playing against the female world champion. He's black. A Zhu Wenju from China. Very nice person, I think. Always seems like a cheerful person. Strong chess player. I think won the World Championship more than once, actually. She's very quickly gone G3, so she's very confident about that choice. However, pawns are equal. Yeah, I think, practically speaking, she could be in for a tough task here, because that bishop's really dominating on... I mean, objectively, it's probably about equal, but it wouldn't surprise me if Firouzja found some kind of clever way to grind her down. I'm not sure how, though. It's very blockaded, this position. I mean, it should probably be a draw. That's the most likely result. I'd say he's favourite to make a draw. No, actually, the computer... I misassessed this horribly. Oh, I think I miscounted the pawns. White's just actually winning. So we could be in for a big upset here. Wow, that's big. Let's have a look at the game with the engine. Let's see where Firouzja went wrong. Because it says he's gone horribly wrong. Computer hates Firouzja's play. She's very good, I think. She's kind of an underrated player. And she trained, I mean, these Chinese players, they train a lot, you know. They train, a bit like the Indian players, they train a lot on their calculation. And also the Chinese players, the Chinese women players will train with the top male players, which helps. You know, if you're training with someone like Ding, and you're 25-50, that's going to help you, right? You know, it's certainly not going to harm you if you're going to train with like the top guys. Whereas if you're a random 25-50 in another country, you might not get a chance to train with, you know, I've never trained with top guys in England, really. I was never given that opportunity. Obviously, I analysed with them. I had post-mortems with them, but I've never, you know, had training sessions. Peter Wells actually used to coach Michael Adams. He used to be a second to Michael Adams. Also helped Luke Shane, very good friends with Luke Shane. Nice guy, Peter Wells, very intelligent guy, actually. Queen F1. So all this is fine for Firouzja, but apparently, yeah, hated E2. Hates E2. So it says you should go Queen B8 there. And then take on B2, and it's about equal. But he went E2, which looks like an ambitious move, which is typical of Firouzja. And obviously trying to, you know, somehow it keeps disconnecting. Maybe it's traffic on the website. Knight F3 is a solid move. So he would have been afraid of the weaknesses around the king off G4. Understandably so. Computer says you just go G4. The computer says, look, this, but to a human perspective, this looks scary. For some reason I'm disconnecting here. I'm not sure why. Yeah, computer says this is just terrible for black. But to a human player, you'd like wary about all these weaknesses. So what he did was practically quite good, I think. And then he played another bad move. You know, I have a theory about the candidates, actually. I don't think Firouzja's got any chance of winning the candidate. I don't think he's been playing anywhere near well enough over the last year or so. I think Prague has some chance. I think Nakamura has gone a little bit off the boil, to be totally honest. I don't think he played that well. I know he had a good, reasonable result at the Isle of Man, but it wasn't that great, really. His play didn't seem that great to me. Although he would have a chance, I think. I think Caruana's going to win. I think Caruana versus Ding would be a great match. You know, these have been the two best players after Magnus Carlsen over the last 10 years. So it's really been those three clear of the others, I would say. And Magnus probably a little bit clear of the other two in terms of classical. But Caruana has been fantastic over the last year or so, and I think he will win the candidates. I'm very, very confident now. Maximum bet time. But Pragananda is a very interesting player, right? Let's turn the engine. Yeah, so apparently it all started going wrong here, and he shouldn't have gone Queen F7. So Zhu Wenju has won a pawn. and it's a nice pawn to win, but it's going to be a tough. Yeah, G3 is an excellent move. He's gone H5, and she should go A3. So the winning method is eventually to go B3 and then Schwapsies, and then maybe even somehow, yeah, you just gradually push. So black's going to have a big problem dealing with A3, B3. And then you gradual plan of pushing. It looks super scary. So, yeah, we could see a massive upset here. Very interesting. I'd love to see Ju Wen. Well, I'm a big Ali Reza fan as well. But I'd love to see Fallujah. I'd love to see Ju Wenju pull off a huge upset. You know, she will want to make an impression in the tournament. It's a big tournament for her. Queen F6 was played by Anish. What do we think about this position? How do we evaluate this position? Interesting position. Level pawns, right? I need to count the pawns. If we're going to evaluate, we need to count the pawns. However, I mean, my gut instinct is it's about equal, or black should hold. White does have a little bit of pressure. But my gut instinct is a little bit of pressure. It might not be enough, and black can well hold this. Could well hold this. There's rook c6, but then black will go rook d6. So my gut instinct is a little bit of pressure, but maybe hold. What does the engine say? Am I right about this? I feel like rook c6, rook d6. You could trade rooks, queen c5, queen e6, queen a7, d4. Although then knight d2, right? Knight d2. Let's say I went queen a2. There's ideas like ed, queen b2. And I can't go knight e4 because of queen b1, king h2, queen takes e4. Yeah, so probably he'll go rook d6 here, right? This is his plan. And then I trade, and do I go queen c5 and try and get a better endgame? Pragananda is a phenomenal player. I think he will win a lot of world titles. I think he will win a lot of... I'm certain that he will win a lot of world titles at Rapid and Blitz and at Classical over the course of his career. I think he's going to have a huge... By the end of his career, he's going to have a huge CV. He's going to have a monstrous CV. I think he's the next big player, right? It's kind of obvious. India are kind of, you know... I think there was like a period recently where it wasn't clear who was the best player. Gukesh, Pragananda, Neil Hyasarin, and even you could throw in people like Eric Artsy. But I think Pragananda recently has gone clear of those other players, and I think he's now, because India is so dominant anyway, that's put him in prime position to dominate chess over the next few years. You know, apart from Magnus, obviously. Have to respect Magnus, but I think he's probably the guy who's going to take over from Magnus. I also said, actually, there's a phenomenal generation of 8 to 10-year-olds, so he's probably his biggest threat is people even younger than he is. Like people like currently 8 years younger than he is. Yeah. Also, I think Neil Hyasarin is an underrated player. I think he will improve at Classical, and I think he will win titles at Rapid and Blitz as well. Because he's already doing so well, and he's very young. He's already doing very well at Blitz. So this is why I was thinking that black could probably hold it. I don't think black is necessarily worse here. Then, yeah, Engine says it should be a draw with best play, but obviously Prag will keep trying. Prag's a bit of a grinder, actually. Is he a grinder on the same level with Magnus? Possibly not, but he's kind of, yeah, very much an endgame guy. This position looks kind of drawish, right? Maybe. I mean, is white better here or is white worse? White's certainly not worse. Yi Wei's an interesting... You know, this is what I was talking about. We're talking about the potential players and who can improve. Yi Wei's a good example of a player who, in my opinion, probably hasn't fulfilled his full potential, because when he was younger, people were like talking about him the same way they were talking about people like Prag. And he won a tournament. He won Viscount's B. And it was very interesting because Magnus Carlsen was getting interviewed later by Dirk. This guy used to edit New in Chess. I'm not sure his pronunciation is surname. Dirk Gertzism or something. And he was talking about Yi Wei and, you know, what his potential was. He was asking Magnus, what do you think Yi Wei's potential is? And I expected Magnus to go, oh yeah, he's obviously going to be like, it's going to be me and Yi Wei for the next few years. Like, no one else is going to get a look in. He's so good. He's going to be over 2800. And it's very interesting. He said, actually, I don't think it's that clear because he's had a great tournament here, but, you know, he still has to prove himself. And I think, as an example, like I fell into this trap. I think you can overrate potential and forget about the fact that actually it's very tough to play at this level and compete at this level. You know, and sometimes people are like performing at that level, but they're kind of maxed out. Queen c7 here looks like potentially very good for white if you can break the blockade. The knight d7, I just take on a7, I win a clear pawn. And if you go queen d7, I'm going to break the blockade with bishop e5 or bishop g5. So I'd say that white is actually... I mean, and the fact that Nordic Brett is playing so quickly, I'm actually going to go for like white winning this. I'm going to be bold here. I'm going to go for white winning. It's almost like a game, isn't it? You know, the evaluation. How do you evaluate positions? If knight d7, queen a7, I'm going to go for a white win. No, I'm completely wrong. Never mind. How's Gukesh getting on against Nepomniachtchi? Knight takes c6. Great move by Gukesh. I'm a Gukesh super fan. Nepo, love Nepo. He's such a kind of emotional guy. I think we all love Nepo. Wow, that's a huge tactic though by Gukesh. I'm a Gukesh super fan. If you take on c6, rook d5, it's just crushing the queen. And if the queen moves, you've got rook d8. Is it as simple as that? Is there any... Wow, it doesn't look good for black here. I think Nepo's in big, big trouble. He's going to fall prey to this Gukesh guy. Great game by Gukesh. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go right back to the very beginning of the opening. So what was happening in this opening? Wow, wow, wow. Knight e5. Yeah, so white is a pawn up here, right? Yeah, so black has this task of finding compensation. What is the computer saying? It's saying it's fine. At this point, it's fine. But humans aren't computers. Even people like Nepo can go wrong. Queen D. I love Queen D1. I love these queen retreats. Classy move. So at some point, black must have gone... Yeah, he's fiddling around with bishop too much. You should... Sometimes clarity is the right way. Just play with clarity. It's a bit like that sort of, you know, infamy. You've all got it infamy. I think he'd made... Oh, no, yeah, he's made a huge blunder with bishop b4, yeah. Takes a while to see how strong that is. Rook a8 was... move. The bishop b4 is an absolute shocker. Ding drew already, so we won't bother to look at that game. But decent result for Ding. Parham's a great player. Knight c6. If you take on c6, rook d5's hammering black. Gukesh, he'd be very, very confident now of winning the game. It's just all very simple tactics and stuff. Yeah, great game by Gukesh. What's happening? So not much change there. Ju Wenju, we're hoping she pulls it home. Nothing against Firouzja. I'd love to see Ju Wenju get a big win. That'd be great. Abdul Sattarov. Yeah, we feel like Gukesh is going to win. Ju Wenju is going to win. It's not certain, obviously, long way to go, but it feels like very, very ominous for Firouzja. I misevaluated it mainly because I just didn't count the pawns. And Donchenko, apparently that's holding. So was white ever winning that? Not really. These guys, they're just basically like engines, right? Yeah, I misevaluated it. I thought that black was white was better after this, but taking also not that great. You just take knight g4, so what? Queen e6? Yeah. Anyway, I think that's it for today. Thanks a lot for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. If anyone's interested in coaching, drop me a line as well. Just put a comment. And yeah, again, thanks for watching my videos. And please like and subscribe to my channel. hometown chess hero. Thank you again.